Ladies and gentlemen of the PRESSCON, magandang umaga, and to all our online viewers following us via FB Live, thank you for joining us in our regular weekly press briefing. I was in Zamboanga over the weekend to personally assess the prevailing situation in Western Mindanao and to cascade to local PNP units the guidance of higher headquarters on certain operational and administrative matters, including the PNP's response to the health crisis. While in Zamboanga, I had opportunity to review the operational readiness of the PNP units in addressing police emergencies and risks posed by domestic threat groups and criminal elements. Two major police operations were launched in Zamboanga City against these groups over the weekend by PRO9, Regional Intelligence Group, Special Action Force, and the CIDG. On the wee hours of Friday, October 9, this unit served a search warrant issued by Honorable Gregorio de la Peña on a residence along Love Drive, Campo Islam, Barangay Lower, Calarian, Zamboanga City for illegal explosives. These persons, namely Khadija Saji, 31 years old, Abdulman Sarapudin Tula, alias Man, 32 years old, and Jailani I. Rafi Sakandal, 31, were arrested for illegal possession of components for improvised explosive device. It was contained in a can of cookies, 9-volt batteries, electric tools, assorted wires, resistors, metal tips, and 500 grams of concrete nails. Also confiscated from the trio were 2 hand grenades, a caliber .45 pistol, several rounds of 5.56 rifle ammunition, and a black ISIS flag. Background investigation revealed that Saji and Tula are both members of the Abu Sayyaf group and ISIS financial conduits of Dawla Islamiyah under Mundi Sawadjaan. Tula is identified in police records as in charge of procuring logistics and provisions for the groups of Sawadjaan and Radulian Sayron in Sulu. Saji is the wife of Al-Asgar, son of the late Abu Sayyaf founder Abdul Rajak Jandalani. She belongs to the same financial conduit cell with Armaida Salmin, who was arrested in Zamboanga City in April 16, 2019, and Merhama Abdul Sawari, alias Meg, who was among 4 Abu Sayyaf group sleeper agents who died in a police operation in Parañaque City last June 26, 2020. Sakandal is an active member of the Philippine Coast Guard with the rank of apprentice seaman. He is undergoing further investigation to determine his role in the activities of the group. Also in Zamboanga City, yesterday, Sunday, a composite team from PNP IG, PRO9, CIDG, NICA, and AFP Westmincom captured Hassan Anang Muhammad, alias Commander Uzi, a senior leader of the Abu Sayyaf group involved in the kidnapping and beheading of Doroteo Gonzalez on May 17, 2009 in Albarca, Basilan. Muhammad is the subject of a warrant of arrest issued by Honorable Jesus Carbon, presiding judge, RCC Branch 16, Zamboanga City, for the crime of kidnapping and serious illegal detention with ransom. Please allow me to share some highlights of significant developments that rolled out today here at the national headquarters along the strategic operational thrust of the 9-point agenda under the PNP Sustainable Development Plan, particularly to promote the Bayanihan spirit, enhance work performance, morale and welfare, human resource and skills development in all levels of the organization. First, the PNP received a generous donation of face masks from the Public Safety Savings and Loan Association Incorporated through its chairman and CEO, retired Police Director Attorney Lucas Managelod, and PSSLI President, retired Police Director Ernesto Belen. This donation will go a long way providing personal protection to police personnel who continue to perform duty in the front lines amid the health crisis. During the same ceremony, we also received a donation of books and learning materials from Rex Bookstore through Ms. Danda Buhani, Chief for External Affairs of the Rex Bookstore chain. The DSWD, likewise, through Undersecretary Felicimo Bujongan, bestowed upon the PNP CDC and Teacher Co-Police Program the official recognition of 4-star accreditation by the DSWD. We formalized today a memorandum of understanding with the Hans Seidel Foundation of Germany to further strengthen PNP commitment to promote advocacy for community-oriented and rights-based policy, development initiatives promoting the rule of law and human rights, and increasing the knowledge and information exchange with and among the citizenry. Since the PNP's initial collaborative engagement with Hans Seidel Foundation, we have worked hand in hand in 1. Promoting gender mainstreaming in the police force through practical community-oriented case-based training methods for police officers. 3. Regional dialogues on police training. 4. Community-based dialogue sessions on human rights promotion and protection. Simultaneously, nationwide, we are sending off within this week more or less 2,000 PNP personnel to their new regional assignments as an initial step towards full localization in the deployment of personnel. This mass movement of personnel initially covers inter-regional reassignment of personnel to their hometowns and places of permanent residence to give them a strong sense of ownership of their own locality and in the process induce better performance. NCRPO and Pro4A are yet to fully implement the localization program pending sub-adjustments in the deployment and staffing structure of lower units to ensure that the mass movement will not create a void in the personal complement of these regional offices. Let me emphasize that the underlying consideration of this localization program is the one-to-one replacement or swapping policy. And 5th, during the past 4 years of implementation of the PNP internal cleansing program, a total of 15,768 errant personnel have been penalized for admin offenses and involvement in criminal activity, including illegal drugs, grave misconduct, serious neglect of duty, irregularity, dishonesty, graft, and corruption. Of this total number of personnel found guilty of admin offenses, 4,591 were summarily dismissed from the service for serious infractions, while 7,888 were met at suspension terms and 846 staffs were demoted in rank. Another 608 errant personnel were penalized with forfeiture of salary. 119 were restricted quarters and privileges of 205 others were withheld. Among those dismissed from service, 549 were for drug-related cases comprising 410 for being tested positive for drugs and 139 for involvement in illegal drug activities. The PNP internal cleansing program doesn't stop there, rather it will continue to be implemented with greater zeal and commitment in the best interest of transparency and accountability in public service. These are the significant events during the preceding week. We are now ready for questions.
For the members of the PRESSCON and their questions, just a reminder, kindly remove your face shield, state your name and company, and speak louder than your usual voice. Thank you. First question will come from...
Sir, good morning. Mark Malala from PCWT. Sir, may address itong dalawa na ito, sir. Ano ba yung pinaplano talaga nila, sir? And the reason kasi, sir, sunod-sunod yung mga miyembro ng PSP na na-arresto. So, ilan na lang yung mga pinagkakatiwala talaga ni Sawad na target natin ng operations? And how's the operation of ESG right now?
Well, I would like to answer the second question first. If you would see the work performance where people are being boosted, that only means to say that the morale and welfare are high. The morale is high and their welfare is being looked into. As for the activities of the these people who were caught and arrested actually, of course, we would say that they are still planning to have a lot of bombing, most especially in Zamboanga. I will give you the director for intelligence group to explain further.
Thank you very much, sir. Magandang umaga po ulit sa mga kapatid natin sa media. Sir, about your question as to Islam, they are terrorists and their only goal is to conduct operation, especially targeting the security forces at may collateral damage na mga civilian minsan. Ang kanilang mission talaga is to show terror. Kaya doon sa kanilang operation, mayroon tayong nahuhuli na pipreempt natin, at least na deterrent yun yung ating operation para at least mapigilan natin yung kanilang mga plano. But, ang sabi nga natin, mind of a terrorist is always a mind of a terrorist. Palaging ang objective niya is to inflict damage palagi. Makapatay, makasira ng property at makapatay ng kalaban. Yan ang kanilang talagang pinaka-objective. As to the number naman, continuous ang kanilang recruitment. Although may nahuhuli, that's why nga itong guidance ni CPNP is more focus, kung naano nyo yung previous months natin, focus on counter-terrorism because we know that they are not stopping. Talagang continue ang kanilang recruitment, continue ang kanilang activity. Kaya lang, nagkakaroon ng, nagpo-post lang sila pagka rin tayo ay aggressive rin tayo sa operation natin laban sa kanila. So, itong mga arrests na ito, ay ito yung result ng ating aggressiveness against these people. Thank you very much, sir.
You mentioned aggressiveness. Sino po pwede sumagot? Ano po yung pinagagawa natin yung pag-renyali ditong mga terrorist na to? Dahil nababawasan din yung person po nila.
Yung retaliation kasi, palagi natin nasa consideration yun. Yung retaliation, palagi nasa consideration natin yun. Kasi historically, kahit noon pa man, palagi sila nagkakandak ng ganun. Every time na may mahuhuli sa kanila, ang parang motivation nila is to retaliate sa kanilang mga brothers. So kaya, hindi rin tayo tumitigil. Sabi nga ng ating CPNP, focus, give more attention to this terrorist group. So, thank you.
Sir, masasabi ba natin na palapit na tayo kay Mundi sa Wadyaan?
Ang security forces for information ay hindi tumitigil. Kung makikita nyo sa Mindanao, sa Sulu, sa Basilan, sa Zamboanga, continuous ang operation laban kay Santi sa Wadyaan. Dahil yun ang objective natin is to finish or arrest or neutralize Mundi sa Wadyaan or any other members of their group.
Next
Well,
question.
I would like to add, that's why we were there in Zamboanga, because we were studying the fact that we have to deploy a lot of anti-terrorism forces. As I've said, there's a delineation of anti-terrorism, anti-criminality, and anti-insurgency. Focus units will be there to focus on the activities against or to counter terrorism.
Next question, please.
General, good morning po. Paul ng SMNI News. Ngayong araw po ang umpisa na po ng pre-registration para National ID System. And last week it mentioned na PNP will take part para sa security or minimum health standards, lahat-lahat na sa COVID-19. Ngayon po sir, ilan po yung data pwede na po makakalimutan kung ilan ang papakalat ninyo ng mga kapulisan doon sa 32 targeted ng mga provinces sa bansa?
Well, the regional directors have been already directed to occupy this center so that we will be able to assist. These are 32 all in all. It will depend, of course, on the deployment of the regional directors, because depending on the culture and tradition of the place, and at the same time, the gravity of the peace and order. If it's peaceful, it's not so much. But we will always do that. The PNP will do this as well.
Ang last ko na lang po, doon pa rin sir, paglilinaw nyo na rin po sa part po ng PNP, yung sinasabi na naman.
Alisin po? Yes. Ito.
Sir, paglilino na lang po sa part po ninyo sa PNP kasi marami pa rin dahil sa implementation ng National ID System, marami nagtakot, marami nangangamba. On your part, ano po ang pamuli ninyong pwedeng sabihin ngayon nag-start na ang pre-registration?
One thing only. If you're a good citizen, there's nothing to be afraid of. If you're doing everything that's right, if you're following rules and regulations, for the PNP, if you're not violating any rule of law or any violation of human rights, it will be good for you. It will be good for everybody. Tandaan nyo lang, siyempre, yung karamihan na yung mga natatakot dyan, yan yung mga gumagawa ng masama. Yun lang naman.
Thank you sir.
Thank you.
Next question will come from
Ano ka pa ba? Nagsalita ka dito ba?
Sir, good
Yes.
morning po. I'm Soberano, sir, Pongorado. Sir, update lang doon kay Renzi Ruiz, sir, na na-arrest nung Saturday na madaling araw sa Sulu. Saan na po siya, sir? Kasi ang alam natin, buntis po siya, sir.
Si alias Chichi.
Yes,
He's still in Sulu?
Or Nana.
Yes,
sir.
she's still in Sulu.
So, anong proseso doon, sir? Ipapa-report ba siya? May kinasuhan na ba natin siya?
We still have to get the results of her nationality, no? And at the same time, still have to take some information, kasi syempre that's part of the procedure, and we have to look after her physical health.
Sir, is it true sa intelligence report na pagkatapos daw po niyang manganak, ay doon po siya maglulunsad ng suicide bombing attack sa Cebu.
Well, that's the information actually. Okay, that's why we were lucky and fortunate that we were able to arrest her.
Ilang buwan na po siyang buntis, sir?
Ilang buwan na po? Ilang buwan na po? 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, on the other issue, ilan po mga suicide bombers pa ang minomonitor natin ngayon na nasa province pa ng Cebu?
We continuously monitor those terrorists that we find that are here in the Philippines, most especially in Mindanao and Zamboanga. We cannot say, of course, how many of them, but we will continue all these terrorists that we suspect to be doing anti-terrorism activities.
Yung nationalities na lang itong mga foreign terrorists, sir, kung namomonitor ng intelligence facility.
Mga nationalities?
Mga nationalities ng mga foreign terrorists na inyong minomonitor sa ngayon.
Well, meron, but we could not say. We could not say na, mahirap magsabi. Baka mamaya magtago sila lahat. Baka sinabi ko, mga inchik, baka lahat magtago inchik.
Yes, sir. Sa recovery naman, sir, nung ITD, yung logistic officer ng grupo ni Mundi Sawadjaan. Sir, anong magiging impact nito, sir, sa grupo ngayon ni Mundi Sawadjaan? Considering yung logistic officer niya, yung recruiter niya, na-arrest na po ng Philippine National Police. Ano po yung magiging impact nito sa grupo ni Mundi Sawadjaan ngayon?
Well, there will be impact. Of course, hindi sila masyadong makakagalaw ngayon. And they know for a fact that they are being watched. No? And we will continuously monitor them.
Sir, on the other issue, ngayong araw, sir, nagsimula na po yung pre-registration po ng National Statistics Authority, sir. Any instructions, sir, sa ating mga kapulisan?
Sorry. Kala ko napili ko. Say again, please.
Yes, sir. Yung nag-umpisa na po ngayon yung pre-registration po ng ating Philippine Statistics Authority. Ano po ang instruction nyo sa inyong mga tauhan, sir? Lalo na po doon, yung minomonitor natin yung pagtupad po ng mga safety and health protocols, sir.
Well, yes. Automatic. Automatic, they should always be visible. Number 2, they should always assist. Number 3, they should always follow anti-COVID protocols. And of course, maintain peace and order.
So, sir, bale, sasama sila, yung mga pulis natin, sasama doon sa mga statistician po ng Philippine.
Yes, yes. They will be there to assist.
Sir, on the issue naman kay Mova Caramino, sir, yung sa kaso ni Colonel Jigger Marcelo, sir, ano po yung naging ano nyo doon, sir?
Well, immediately kasi sulat yung binigay ni Juan, ni Nova. Immediately after that, our HSS already moved. We directed them to have the health checkup of Nova. Second is we immediately visited the area, and then there is an investigation by the WCPC. All affidavits were taken, and the filing of criminal cases was actually done. On the filing of admin cases, the family of Nova is still contemplating whether they would be filing it where else or even in the ombudsman. But ES was also directed to actually investigate.
Sir, babalan nyo doon sa mga pulis na gumagawa po ng mga ganito.
Well, we will not tolerate any wrongdoings of our people. Okay? As what I've said, kahit na kung wala kang rason, we will have to arrest you, file cases against you, put you in jail.
So, saan mo ngayon si Colonel Marcelo, sir?
Alam ko na yung tanong mo na yan. He is in restricted custody.
Pero is he free to go out outside
No,
now?
no. He's in restricted custody, and he will have to ask if there is a reason for him to go out. No? At the same time, cases were filed against him, but these are allegations because he was never caught in flagrante delito. Alam ko na yung kwan mo. I will put him in jail if I was able to catch him in flagrante delito immediately. No? But the complaint is an allegation. It is still being investigated. It's up to the court to give a warrant of arrest.
Thank you, General.
We will now hear the last two questions from
Dapat dapat.
Follow lang doon sa
Yeah.
case po ni Colonel Jigger, no? May kaparang insidente daw na ginawa yung pulis na magkulungan kung saan siya na-assign, sir. particularly kung sa Cavite, kung saan meron siyang tinorture na preso, no? How come na nakapwesto po ulit siya at bantay ulit sa kulungan? And also, ano po yung gagawin ng PNP para hindi na po maulit yung ganitong insidente?
Well, henceforth, all may pais tayo, dapat doon nakikita na kaagad ang mga lahat ng mga kaso ng mga kapulisan natin. Henceforth, what you call the personal files will always be checked and evaluated by each unit. They should be able to do that so that they will be able to know where to place our people. Gaya nga ng sinabi natin, right people for the right position. And with regard to the other cases of Luceda, I believe that he was already there was a case filed against him during the torture, yung pag-torture na yun. Parang may admin case na rin yata siya doon. And at the same time, we will see to it henceforth that these people or our people will always be following the rule of law and not tolerate violations of human rights.
Sir, pinapatanong lang, no? Baka pwede po makinig ng reaction sa mga banat ng netizen kay Sakilayan. Also, I support kay Sakilayan na sinasabing naka-experience siya ng mental stress dahil sa mga banat ng netizen. And meron ba tayong intervention sa mga polis na nakararanas ngayon ng mental stress?
Yes, of course. Meron tayong how do you call that? Psychological team from the health service that is looking after our people, most especially those who are in quarantine facilities. Kung mapapansin nyo, kung gusto nyo pumasok sa quarantine facilities natin, meron po sila, lumalabas po sila doon sa mga kwarto nila, nag-exercise. Yung iba nakakatakbo po sa grandstand. Yung iba naglalakad at nagkakape po doon sa may likod ng Kiangan sa Taekwondo. No? But this time around, we will see to it that we will do it on a regular basis, most especially with regard to these people who are affected of COVID. Yun po ang natin. The psychology team will always be there and be prepared. They are actually going around, not just here. They are going around also at PICC, of which when I was the chairman of the ASCOT, we still are managing that PICC, pati yung Ultra. Even the MOA Swabbing Center, we are sending our psychology team to check on the morale of our people.
Actually, ano doon, sir, dun siya, apektado siya sa mga banat ng netizen?
Well, we are policemen, we are law enforcers, and we investigate. We investigate properly, and the case of Sakilayan is still under investigation and evaluation. If we are able to evaluate, ES has already been directed to investigate the case properly so that we would be able to know what to do with our people. Kakasuhan ba namin? Sila ba ay tama? Sino nagkabali? Yan po yung titingnan natin lahat na.
Thank you, sir.
We will now hear the last question.
Sir, good morning. Hindi sa lalim ng Pilipino. Sir, dalawa lang po tanong ko. Sir, pwede yung pakiano lang po yung police ko, teacher ko program, at sino po ang mga unang magaginabang po nito?
Nais kong paano, ang makikinabang po nito ay mga anak, siyempre, no? Mga bata, toddlers. These are toddlers. At the same time, secondly, yung mga nanay nila, lalo na kung nagtatrabaho po rito sa mga opisina, iwan lang po nila yung anak nila, lalo na kung single mother, single father sila, or may mga sakit yung mga kanilang mga para sa safety naman ng mga anak nila. And thirdly, ang magmamanage po rito ay ating mga kapulisan. Police pa rin ho. Kaya nga ho, meron tayong mga women's center, meron po tayong mga police na natuto para mag-alaga po ng mga toddlers. At the end of the day, kukunin na po sila ng nanay, tatay nila, at dadalhin na lang rin po pa uwi. Ganyan po sila.
Parang may daycare.
Yes, daycare center.
Pangalawa, sir, meron pong mga Facebook account na peke, na ginamit ang pangalan ninyo. So, kailan po kaya makukuha yung mga tao yun na naggamit na nag-create po ng Facebook account?
Yes, I follow that daily, no? Daily, not just regularly, but I follow it up daily. Kagabi nga lang, kausap ko si Major General James Coronel and pati ang IMEC at saka ang ACG. At meron na po tayong mga pangalan na nakita. At the same time, pinapatawag na po natin sila. And we are able to prove that they have been using these accounts for illegal activities, most especially the use of my name. We will arrest them immediately and file cases against them.
Sir, warning po ninyo at sa kanila, at saka sa iba pang pulis na gumagawa ng irregularidad, na nag-name drop sa inyo at sa iba pang opisyal. Ano po ang warning ninyo?
Sa lahat po ng gumagamit ng ating pangalan, unang-una, wala po akong FB account. Meron akong FB page, pero wala po akong FB account. Una po yan. Pangalawa, sa lahat po ng gumagawa nitong illegal na activity, lalo na nag-extort, gamit-gamit ng aking pangalan, o gamit-gamit ang fake na FB account under my name, alalahanin niyo po na hindi po kayo basta-basta makakatago na ngayon dahil magaling po ang ating mga tao sa anti-cybercrime group. Malalaman din po kayo. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, tumigil na kayo at kung po pwede, ibalik niyo yung mga pera ng mga niloko nyo. Hindi po namin, I will never tolerate any kind of criminal activity, illegal most especially. Yung mga illegal gambling na yan, mga illegal, kahit anong illegal activity, wala po akong kinakausap, wala po akong nakikiusap sa akin, at wala po akong inuutusan. Yun po ang aking masabi nila.
Pwede niyo pa sabihin, sir, na mata naman walang tatay.
We'll see. Mahirap sabihin yan.
Pwede, sir.
One last question, sir, from Mr. Alfred Allison.
Namatay.
Well, sir, yung ang focus lumalabas ngayon, yung sinasabi ng delegation yung sa anti-terrorism and sa counter-insurgency. So far, so good yung campaign sa terrorism, maraming campaign. But lately, despite yung maraming surrender ng mga new army, continuous pa rin ang offensive ng NPA sa countryside. Last week lang, there were 2 incidents na sinunog ng mga NPA yung mga heavy equipment sa Region 10. Misamis Oriental, sir. So, what actions are being undertaken by the police right now para matigil po yung ganung mga offensive?
Gaya nga na sinabi ko, the main fact why we have to delegate responsibilities, most especially with regard to anti-insurgency, is for us to be able to assist the armed forces of the Philippines in anti-insurgency activities. Ganito yun. We are in a transition period. Our directors of DIPOS are already out and they are already establishing rapport with the armed forces of the Philippines. Ngayon lang po sila nag-uusap-usap at tinitingnan nila kung saan po sila makaka-assist ngayon sa ANP. For the meantime, what we are doing is that the ANP goes out, operates, and we are actually coordinating with them where we will be. Kaya nga sabi natin, visibility is one of the issues that we need to address, most especially in mountainous areas. Henceforth, we will be coordinating equally with the armed forces of the Philippines, most especially in all insurgency operations, anti-insurgency operations, para malaman po natin kung ano talaga ang dapat ginagawa ng police. Kung sinasabi nga natin, clear, hold, consolidate, and kalimutan ko yung isa. Iba na po na tayo ngayon. Ang AFP po, ang papasok, ang PNP po, together with the local government units and all departments of the government will be with us so that we will go nearer to the community. That is our goal actually. And come up with a better community. Mawawala yung insurgency.
So yung sa mga field commanders, sir, ang directive?
Well, the directive is what? Push through with anti-insurgency operations, coordinate and cooperate with the armed forces of the Philippines. We have to end local communism, armed conflict. That's why we have the LCAP. Yan yung pinupan natin. Yan yung focus units ngayon for anti-insurgency when it comes to the Philippine National Police.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That ends our press briefing with the CPNP. CPNP, sir, thank you for your time. And that ends the press briefing.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you and stay safe.